Hello, Internet, and welcome to Nerd Break, the podcast where we take a break from life and nerd out about our favorite things. I am your host, Joseph, and joining me this week are two of my best friends in the entire universe, Zombs.
I didn't like your intro. There was a little slight delay in there. It needs to be perfect every week.
And you're forgetting that I can edit this out and now forcing me to restart things!
Nope, we're keeping this.
No, that was
And
his
here's
intro.
Moxie.
That was his intro.
It was. And this is Moxie's.
Go ahead, Joseph.
I don't know whether to restart or not now.
Nope,
No,
we're going.
Keep it.
Land Moxie.
I have to agree with him. You could have done better. Next time, though.
There's always next.
We have to wait a whole week.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
No, we don't. Because we are recording on a different day. So it will be less than a week, Zombs.
No,
We'll see.
that is true.
We'll see unless something comes up.
Well, how is everyone doing this week?
Exhausted. I could say that much.
Full of anticipation.
This is a very distinguishing contrast.
Patient. Had to get my Rocky Horror Picture Show vibe going.
I love it.
Well, I can say this. Zombs is good for having lots of anticipation because we have a lot to cover this week. From a Nintendo Direct to a State of Play to Pokemon Presentation and more. There is so much to cover this week. It's not funny. Trust me, my head's been spinning trying to keep track of all. But let's start like we always do with what we've been doing over the past week. Zombs, would you like to kick us off?
Okay. Well, since you were talking about Pokemon, I was on the field of battle. And this was only the other day when on the field of battle, somebody had asked a question. And this question was, so what do you guys think about the new Pokemon game? And we kind of stopped and we were talking. And then one of the guys comes up and he goes, you guys talking about Pokemon? And we all looked over as his staff that he used to beat people with was covered in blood. And I saw a body like 100 feet behind him. And I was like, yes, we're talking about Pokemon. Okay. And then we all just agreed. It's like, maybe we should just continue the this battle.
Yes, don't take your eyes off the prize there. Not even for Pokemon.
And anime. Been watching a lot of anime. It's the end of the week, so I get to catch up on a lot of stuff. I'm really excited. I did hear some news from the Boruto, and it's Saturday news. I won't say anything because the people who watch the anime, unless you have people on social media who spoiled it for you. But
I already know what happens. Boruto died.
So for our listeners, that's not true. So thank you, Broseph.
Way to go, Broseph.
So
Tom here was trying to not spoil anything. Way to go, Broseph.
I have to create some form of suspense.
I'm going to drink my coffee, which this week has oat milk in it. Tastes oaty.
I've tried that once. It's not bad. Wouldn't prefer it all the time, though.
Yeah, it's not bad. I was told that the coffee bean does it all the time.
I would do honey or almond milk, or both, actually.
Those are actually also options at Starbucks.
Yes, indeed.
I prefer Dutch Bros coffee, though.
So what else have you been doing this past week, Zombs?
Oh, yes, back on topic. Sorry, I was enjoying a conversation about coffee, because who doesn't like coffee, with one of my bestest friends.
I don't like coffee.
That's probably the reason why you interrupted. Anyways, so
Exactly. We've been to coffee shops together, so we both
we've
like
been,
coffee.
we are coffee connoisseurs.
Yes.
Anyways, uh, manga, anime, Attack on Titans is pretty interesting right now. Um, oh, I was reincarnated as a slime. If anybody's been watching that, I
Mm,
really love that anime, and it's crazy right now. Um, I like how they battle racism
yeah.
in the form of like different monsters.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like that.
It's pretty neat. So I see that in a lot of like Star Trek episodes as well. Or the different variations of Star Trek, they always do that. It's pretty neat. I mean, I don't care what you are. Everybody bleeds when you get stabbed with a knife, usually.
Yeah, unless you're already dead like you.
No, stuff still comes out,
You just gotta staple it back together.
usually. And uh oh, I'm also in medical classes because I was like, why not get certified? And I got to save a patient who was profusely bleeding.
Oh,
Wait, you
hey.
actually did a good deed?
Yes. And guess what? I got a good grade for it too.
Zombs, I'm proud of you.
I'm confused.
I did put on gloves.
That's
I'm
not what
double
I'm
proud of
confused
you.
about.
I was
That's it.
like, and I looked over and people were watching, and I was like, oh, that's right. So I put on the gloves and I went over and I was just like, wow, you're bleeding. Help. And I explained the situation. I said, I will stop the bleeding. And they said, please. And I went over and I bandaged it up and all that fun jazz as I was talking to them. And I was just like, oh, yeah, by the way, did you see that Nintendo Direct? And they said, what? And they were a little confused, but didn't. They did manage to let me know that they do watch Nintendo Direct, and I was just like, "Okay." So we talked about that while I was checking up on them, and it's good times.
Medically approved. Not from the FDA, but from Zombs, apparently.
And I think that was it. That's all I've done this week.
Okay, well, Moxie, about you? What have you been doing the past week?
Not much, I will admit. I have not done much. My work has kicked into the newly cycle of medical records, and it's been really tough this year with what's going on in the world. It's a lot harder this year because there's a lot to go through. So I haven't done much, but I have been keeping up with manga. And in 22 hours of recording this, the new chapter 303 of My Hero comes out, and I'm going to read that first thing tomorrow because, yo, Zoms, your boy Endeavor. Yeah, your boy Endeavor. Got some things going on there.
Besides his muscles,
Besides his muscles and his scar on his face.
oh yeah, he's got a scar now.
Yeah, and the fact that there was like at least 6 panels of him just crying.
Did
But
he have his fire face on, like where he has his
no,
fire?
no.
Oh,
Go ahead. I just when the season hits, because I know you watch the anime. I don't think you read the manga. Just wait until that point gets there. You'll know.
I get updated on the manga.
I'll just read it tomorrow. Other than that, I have not been doing much. Um, Gotten back into painting miniatures again, but that's about it.
I think I saw some of your posts for the miniatures, and they looked
hmm
really good.
I posted the Plague Doctor one that I painted on Tumblr. And I'm kind of surprised. Reception was very warm with that. It was my second mini ever painted. And if I am correct on this, looks like the current note count is at 50? 49. 49, not bad. But yeah, no, maybe I'll give the picture to Broseph so I can, like, I don't know, put it somewhere like, hey, This is the thing we're talking about.
He can fill up that empty space behind him, like we
There you
keep telling
go.
him to do.
There you go. And by the way, this thing is as long, like as big as the tip of my thumb to the base of my thumb. It is very, very small. So anyway, the painting of the miniatures has been kind of something I've been filling in the gap of, hey, I don't want to go to bed yet, but I've got too much medical stuff going on in my head. Time to cool down a little bit.
If it was me filling out medical papers and with the pandemic going on and everything, I've heard a lot of different stories about how they just write off COVID as the cause for everything. I could only imagine it's like the paperwork. You have the person's name, whatever, quick information, and then where you have to do the report, I would just put "'cause COVID,"
Mm,
and everybody was,
I
yep, I get
yeah,
it."
it's been very sad, kind of stressful,
Broken arm, 'cause
sobering.
'cause COVID.
It's been sobering at work. I will say that. It's been very sobering.
Well, we're not here to be sober. We're here to nerd.
Oh, okay, I'll go get my booze now.
It's not what I meant either.
It's 2021. It's the year of the she shanties or sea shanties and the boozing.
It is.
It is, honestly.
I'm how we started this year with all the sea shanties was, I liked it.
Joseph's making the face that he wants us to go on. You can cut this, you realize.
I hope he doesn't.
Because we can see you, Joseph. We know when you make those faces, you want us to continue on. Speed up.
Joseph's face does not lie.
No.
Also, he's been very excited about this week's news for,
Yes.
over
Yeah,
a week
so let's
now.
just go ahead and cut it short. You can actually cut a little bit of what I was saying just to prolong the space when you'd left.
I hope he
So,
doesn't.
I did put things behind me. Did anybody pay any
yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, we saw.
I didn't know if you wanted us to address it because I didn't know if that was part of the podcast.
There are no dresses behind me.
Okay. But yeah, no, so that's why we were like, what the do we do? We were like, he runs off. Oh, he's putting those up there. Oh, that's cute. Wait, are we supposed to address this now? What's going on?
Also, Joseph's more of a skirt kind of person.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Well, I will fill in with some fun stuff here of what I've been doing, if that's okay with the two of you.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
actually beat Spider-Man, for one.
Oh,
Mm?
Completed that story.
Oh,
That
man.
that ended both high and low.
Mm.
I was telling Zombs before, but how the story ends. So during the story, Miles actually gets bit, which I did not know was going to happen, hence the Spider Man Miles Morales game. But in the last segment of the story, he is in a room moving furniture in with Peter, and he starts talking to Peter about these changes that are going on and how he can't really talk to his mom about it. And he's talking about physical changes. And Peter is thinking, oh no, this is going to take the wrong turn. I can't talk about this stuff with him. And
they're gonna have the talk.
yeah, and so
Mm.
Miles turns around and he says, it's easier probably for me to just show you. And Peter's freaking out. And then Miles jumps and starts hanging from the ceiling. So
I was gonna say, if they were gonna have the talk, better Peter Parker than like the U.S. school system, but that works too, hanging from the ceiling. That is a very important part of a young man's figuring themselves out.
Hey, in my day, the U.S. school system was amazing.
yeah.
You and I went to different schools.
But I've also been playing Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and I think I'm getting close to beating that.
That's
So
quick.
yeah, I'm not completely there, but the story is getting to that point where I'm pretty sure I'm really, really close to the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally am enjoying it.
As long as you're enjoying it.
Oh yes. Can't wait for Breath of the Wild 2 to come out now. Continuation of the story. But I too am gonna cut what I've been doing short because I really want to get to the news this week. because there is just a ton of news. With the biggest thing being the thing that happened pretty much right before we started recording last week's episode, which is the Nintendo Direct. And Zoms, you and me watched it together, so that is something
We
that we
did?
did do.
Hmm.
Oh,
But Moxie, you did not watch it, so there are going to be some hopefully interesting little surprises in here.
I did get a few clips from it, but of course I was doing the work binge um, during that week, and I think it even was like right in the middle of a crunch on a project. It aired, and I got the message from you guys. I'm like, I was still at work. Sorry.
Well, we'll just go over everything relatively quickly here, with the first thing on the list being the surprise announcement at the end of the direct, which was Splatoon 3. We are getting Splatoon 3 next year sometime.
Already?
Yeah. And it started off kind of interesting. It was like a deserted desert area that they started showing, and I was thinking, I was getting Mad Max vibes, to be honest, out of this. It was crazy.
it was pretty neat. I went into a store, and these parents, mother and grandmother, I'm assuming, they walked in, and right away the cashier was like, "Hi, welcome." And so I'm somewhat listening because there wasn't a lot of people in there. It was a small store. And right away the mother demanded, she says, "I need to buy Splatoon 3." And the cashier obviously didn't play or watch Nintendo Direct. Uh, doesn't play Splatoon, I mean. But she goes, "Oh, I've never heard of that." And then, so I just kindly looked over and I said, "Oh, Splatoon 3 is not out yet." And then all of them looked at me like, "It's not?" And I said, "No." And then so she had looked it up, the cashier, and she goes, "Oh yeah, it doesn't come out for a while." It's good times.
Reminds me of my days at my one retail job. That happened all the time.
Now, see, though, you would not have this valuable information if we did not watch the Nintendo Direct together, Zombs.
This is true. Also, shame on that mother for not watching the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, how horrible.
Hmm. What is this world coming to?
Who knows? But the trailer of Splatoon 3 had a lot of the same good Splatoon music in it, and I'm actually pretty hyped for this one. Anybody else looking forward to Splatoon 3?
I'll give it a shot.
I'll watch you guys.
Well, maybe at that point in time, I will live stream it.
It's a thought.
Next up, we are getting a remake of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword called Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD.
Oh,
Original title in there.
somebody alert Game Grumps to that.
Who needs to tell them? I'm pretty sure they already know.
I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure a certain someone screamed when he read that.
I will tell them.
Has
No,
anyone here played Skyward Sword besides me?
I have not. That was one of the few that I have not played.
Okay. Zoms, have you played it?
I have not.
Okay,
What
so this will
about you,
be new for
Skeleton?
both of you.
What
Nope.
about you,
Okay.
Skeleton?
I want to say that this is actually kind of one of the weaker entries for me personally in the Legend of Zelda series. I'm still gonna get this one, but yeah,
Yeah.
it took some rather wrong turns in my opinion with the way that they built the world. You were constantly always going back to this one specific area to repeatedly fight this one specific boss in this one specific way. And you did that like I want to say at least 3 or 4 times. I might be over exaggerating a little. It might have
No,
been 2 to 3, but it
I
was
mean,
just
I
too
have
much.
not played it, but I've watched Let's Plays of it. And yeah, it seems horribly repetitive.
Yeah, I'm since this is the HD remake, they are probably going to make some changes to it. Zoms, you and me were talking about this previously, and like for instance, some of the changes they made to Wind Waker when it released in the HD version of it on the Wii U, They added the quick sails so that you could sail faster in the boat, and they also shortened up the quest to find the Triforce of Courage. So there are changes that they could potentially make to this game.
Like, make it better.
Yeah, I don't know, but one of the interesting things is Skyward Sword was very much a motion controlled game. I mean, the sword swings were pretty much one to one. You slash down, the game slash down left, right. You could, even one of the puzzles required you circling your sword to trick an eyeball to going around in circles. And they've put that over into the Switch version. I don't know how well that's going to work, but they've also made it so that you can play it entirely with buttons in handheld mode.
Hmm.
And how it works is the right control stick is actually your sword. So
Okay.
you push it right, push it up, swing up, and all that. Which I thought personally that was a good decision to make.
Yeah.
So this game is going to be accessible for everyone. Hopefully, we'll see
Even
what
people for
happens.
PlayStation?
No, no.
I guess it's not accessible for everybody.
Speaking of PlayStation, though, Fall Guys is making the jump from the PS5 to Switch, and Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
Oh no.
What, don't you want to be a brightly colored jelly bean and smash into another brightly colored jelly bean
Actually,
controlled by
yes.
Zombs?
That's why I'm saying, oh no, because if it's coming to the Switch, that's more accessible for me. And I'm just going, oh no. I telling myself I don't need this game.
It actually, I played it on PlayStation, and it's a lot of fun. It's really simple. It's basically you just run through an obstacle course, and if you
Yeah,
get knocked off, you're dead. Or
I
if you don't
know.
make it to the end in time, you're
It's like
dead.
Wipeout, but just more kiddified, and I love it.
It is great, like the vibrant colors. I love all the little costumes. It's freaking hilarious, and it's really competitive too. Like I'll play with friends. We'll take turns, and it's just, hey, let's play Fall Guys. Okay, and then 3 hours has gone by.
Perhaps all of us can play and have 3 hours go by at some point in time.
Mm-hmm. We will. Joseph, you can drink your tea. Moxie, we will run out of mead so quickly.
Well, I don't drink tea.
I
Your
drink
water.
coffee, hard cider, and meads, and sangrias, and actually a lot since 2020 started. Not a lot, but more than just water and tea and coffee. Hmm?
There's another game that you guys can play together and have your little fun drinking games called Knockout City, which is a dodgeball game by EA.
Oh, remembering all the childhood memories of being last picked on the team and the first to get the dodgeball right between the eyes.
Nice.
I know, right?
Um, okay then. I have nothing to say other than this is a game and it's coming to practically everything.
It is. It's now Brosive. When we had seen this, honestly, I wasn't too impressed, but I did get a second look at it, and it is also crossplay, and I saw a bit more information on it, and honestly, I may consider getting this.
Really interesting.
Yes, Nintendo Direct was the first place where I saw it, but I did see it elsewhere afterwards, and I was actually impressed.
Well,
It
that's
it
high
looks
praise.
it looks simple. It'll probably be, I want to say, the next, like I won't replace it, but it'll be the next Fortnite.
That is very high praise. Very high. I now have an expectation of slightly higher than -1.
Negative point 0.5.
Somewhere along those lines. Skipping over something to jump to another multiplayer game, this one also from EA and being free to play, we got the announcement of Star Wars Hunters. That was all we got. Was an announcement.
It's a mobile game, isn't it?
No, it's for the Switch. All these are for the Switch.
Oh,
All of this was in the Nintendo Direct,
I
and
for
all we
some
got was
reason
an
I thought that
announcement.
was a mobile. I know it was for the Nintendo Direct, but it's just it what I saw looked like a mobile game. Does that make sense?
Well,
Kind
considering the
of.
Switch is something you can take on the go,
Yeah, it had the feel of a mobile game when I saw that.
Moxie, when I was watching this, and it was like apparently in a cave, and then you see the holograms, and I'm assuming of the different variations of characters that you can play.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, there's this ramp that goes up to the right, and then the blast doors are opening, and there's like smoke, and you see like laser fire, and some laser
Yeah.
fire goes into the cave a bit.
Hmm.
And I was so excited. My eyes were so big, my mouth was so
Oh,
wide, and I was just waiting to see what was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, just my hopes and dreams crushed
oh,
when it just came up the title, and I was
oh
like, "Was that
no.
it? That's
That was
all we
it.
got?"
Yep, that's all you get, buddy boy.
Yes. So I'm currently searching for whose bright idea this was, and I'm going to slap them.
Good luck.
I'm almost there.
like I said, this is from EA, so take your pick of who you want to slap there. We also got the announcement of Samurai Warriors 5, which is also coming to multiple platforms. Has an interesting cell shade look, but it's an Warriors game, so yay.
I was telling Broseph about this. I said, I just I've played the Warriors games before. I used to play them religiously because
Yeah,
they were so neat. But then
they are.
after maybe like 30 minutes, I realized, and I said, you know, this is the same game. I think I wasted my money. And
Unfortunately, yeah, they're all like that.
so I told Broseph, I said, you know what? The one thing that I'm looking forward to is when I'm fighting a horde of enemies. I don't want to see them disappearing on me as I'm fighting them and then reappear and
Yeah.
then stab me with the sword.
And I told you that that actually was not a problem in Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So,
It was not.
yeah. And I
So
also
maybe
told
they
you to
fix it.
get that game.
I I will when you send it to me.
Well, that's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
I'm patient.
Well,
I
something
mean,
else that Hmm?
he's a zombie, so he's kind of patient. He doesn't move very fast.
I can if I wanted to.
I was going to skip over this, but I am going to let everyone know that one of Zombs' cousins, Stubbs, is reappearing in a game that is a remake from the Xbox era. Stubbs the Zombie and Rebel Without a Pulse,
That's too funny, really?
coming to a video game console near you.
Oh man. Oh man, Zombs, you gonna get that?
That's exactly what Broseph says, and I kind of took offense to it. It's like, why would I get it? And I don't even think I have a cousin named Stubbs.
Maybe it's like your second or third cousin 3 times removed. I don't know how that genealogy stuff goes.
I don't think that my family is popular, my family lineage to be. Actually, I take that back. I think I do have some family lineage that's in history,
Hmm.
but that's for another podcast, possibly. If you want to know more about that, email me directly at the podcast. Broseph, what's that email?
Nerdbreakpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and we can talk about it kind of over coffee.
Yeah. Rushing forward, though, we also got the announcement of Mario Golf Super Rush, which looks intriguing. Zoms actually had to remind me that this has a story mode, which makes it even more exciting for me personally, because this is the first time since the Game Boy Advance games that we got a story mode. And the story mode in those games was highly touted and desired for many years after.
Hmm.
I like how they also had the free play version where you hit the ball and then your character you can run to where the ball is so you can hit it again. You don't have to wait for people to take their time.
Yeah, that was the rush mode of some sort, which did look
Yeah.
interesting. I'm personally going to get this because I just love golf.
I'm gonna borrow it from you afterwards.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to club me with a golf club in order to get it off of my body.
I will after I run you over with the golf cart.
I'm so scared. Moxie, what do you think? Are you interested in this one?
Actually, it all depends. Like, I'm the kind of person that I do read reviews first before getting, so I'd
Well,
have to look into that.
perhaps I'll make a review on it when it comes
There you
out.
go. Do
I
that.
don't know.
I
You're kind
might
of
approve of that.
biased.
Oh, well, he said it, not me.
I can be objectionably fair.
This is true.
There. Just like I can be objectionably fair about the next game called Metopia. That is a remake of a 3DS game that's getting a new
Oh,
life on the Switch.
not to
Uh,
name drop another Let's Play group or whatever, but man, Vine Sauce is going to have a fun time with that one.
you remember this game then, Moxie?
Yes. My God, do I remember this game.
I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
oh, yeah, I
Let's just
remember
say
this
it
game.
wasn't that good of a game,
It really isn't,
honestly.
but the people who played it made it worthwhile because they did some ridiculous things with it.
I might just get this game, but it kind of depends. Zombs, what do you think?
I don't think.
Well, we realize that, but still, give us something here, buddy.
I'll borrow it from you.
I think this is a running theme already. Moving along, we also got the announcement of a remake of Legend of Mana, which I believe was the Game Boy game, but I can't remember for sure.
I
More
don't know.
interestingly, we got the announcement of 2 games in the Famicom Detective Club series that are finally getting English translations and coming over here to the West. And I am excited about those because I love detective games, especially those type of story-based games. So I'm intrigued. I want to get these. They come out in May.
I may get that actually because I am a pretty good detective.
The only bad part is I'm not seeing a physical version here for the West, so I'll probably have to import the games from Japan because I like physical.
So, if you were interested, I did a quick search. I remember hearing about Legend of Mana, however you want to pronounce it. But it was actually on PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Zoms? Are you said you're gonna get the Famicom Detective Club?
I think so. I am a fan of those games. So I
That's an
mean
interesting statement there.
I
Because these
probably
games
will
haven't been
get it.
available for ever.
You trying to call me out?
I'm just saying that something that was never released here in the States is kind of hard to be a fan of. That's all.
I
You
mean,
make it seem like I've never had like emulators or friends in foreign countries send me things.
sounds good to me.
I'm going to move on to a game that I think, at least I can say, is probably a game that Moxie will enjoy, called Neon White.
Do tell.
Looks like a Doom clone. You could kill demons
Yes.
in heaven.
Yes. Yes. I'm so excited for this.
I mean, if you look up the information, it literally has the characters running around in masks, dressed in white, and they're killing demons in heaven. So
Yes.
And like
some,
the Oni mask.
yeah, Zoms can tell you a whole bunch about it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Broseph and I argued a bit about this.
Oh.
Is he says he got like the Doom vibe, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I get it that you're killing demons,
Mhm.
but when I think of Doom, I think of like the nonstop slaughter with blood and gore, and there was not that at all. To me, it looked a lot like Overwatch, and
Okay.
it was a first person. You're going around and you're using cards to attack. From what it looked like. So you collect cards, and the cards have different abilities. I'm assuming,
Yeah.
and yeah, you just keep moving, attacking
Interesting.
demons or whatever they are.
That is something right up my alley, so might have to check that out.
I think it's worth checking out. It looked pretty neat. Also, the announcer for the game sounded a lot like uh, the voice actor for Tom in Toonami.
Oh, I remember that voice. Man, I had to pause for a moment.
So yeah, Moxie, you'll have to check that out. It's at least definitely in first person, and for
Mhm.
me, it looked like it was fairly fast paced. So
Mhm. I mean, if it's anything like some of the games that my friend Kevin has streamed to me recently, I'm gonna like it.
it's being developed by Annapurna, I believe it was, or was it the people behind Donut County? I can't remember now, but it looked interesting. It looked like it was right up your alley.
Mhm.
Speaking of alleys, though, No More Heroes 3 got a release date for August finally.
Oh,
And I'm excited to finally see that get a release date. Now we just need a release date for Bayonetta 3. Good grief, these games take forever to make.
yes, they do.
I'm more excited about Bayonetta 3 than I am for No More Heroes, but I may end up getting No More Heroes, just not right away.
No More Heroes is kind of like that game that your weird uncle likes to play and nobody understands why because it's on the fringes of the community, but it still looks freaking awesome. That's what No More Heroes kind of is.
I don't believe I have a weird uncle. That's usually a cry for help.
Let's put it this way. The way you save in the No More Heroes games is the main character goes and sits on the toilet.
Hey,
Literally uses the bathroom to save the game.
I like
That's
that.
where that's where most of your thinking is done.
Yes,
I beg your
I can
pardon, most of
confirm,
my thinking is
yes.
done in the shower, not on the
No,
toilet.
it's the toilet.
No,
I can confirm.
you cannot confirm. You've never been in the bathroom with me.
I got Crohn's, man. Of course I do.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem.
Well,
Didn't think I'd actually respond like that, huh?
just for that, I'm going to tell you about this another amazing game that's right up your alley, Moxie.
Is
It's
it
called
Toilet Paper Simulator 2020?
no, it's called DC Superhero Girls Teen Power.
I'm getting it.
Oh my god, no. Please, no.
This was probably the lowest point of
No.
the Nintendo Direct, to be honest. This game
No.
right here. I realize it has a demographic, but I
No.
don't know who it is. Not a
The
clue.
demographic is no.
I'm getting it.
No. I mean, yes, for you, but no. Actually, how many times have I said no now? No.
6,
Hey, viewers in the comment box, if he's incorrect,
which I
type in
am.
the
It's
correct
more like
number.
5.
You may get a prize.
Not hardly.
How
The
about
prize will be one of the things that was announced in the next game, which is the Capcom Arcade Stadium got announced, technically. And immediately we're getting 2 free games, part of that collection, 1943 and Ghosts and Goblins. So if you are interested in the arcade versions of those 2 games, they were at least free on the Switch. You can go download them right now.
what was 1943? Wasn't that like a airship game?
Yeah, top down, you fly a plane and you shoot and destroy things. It's a really fun game. I
Hmm.
enjoy it. Of course, I'm partial to shmups, so that Ghost and Goblins game is hard.
Oh yeah, I've actually played that on a Japanese arcade machine.
Really now.
This was a long time ago though, but
Okay then. We also got the announcement of Tales from the Borderlands is coming to the Switch.
Hmm.
Yay. Uh, then we got the announcement of a expansion pass for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which they kind of glossed over this and didn't give us any information. So after the fact, I had to look it up. The expansion pass comes in 2 waves. One that comes out around June, I think it is, and the other one sometime in November. It looked like
Okay.
each one includes new characters as well as new content to play through in the game. I'm interested because I don't know who they can possibly add to the roster, but anyone that plays that game will realize that the roster is in such desperate need of help. They added the Great Fairies as playable characters in the game. It's like, why? Why?
Yeah.
No. Please give me somebody else. Anybody else. Literally anybody else. In any case, I'm going to be getting that. But another game that possibly all of us might be interested in. I'm not sure about Zombs, but you might be, Moxie. We got a demo for Project Triangle Strategy, which looks very strikingly similar to Octopath Traveler, but it's Final Fantasy Tactics, let's put it that way.
Hmm. Interesting.
But there is interesting strategy in the game. They showed that you can like make it rain. Actually, no, they showed that you could light the grass on fire, then make it rain to put out the fire, and then use electricity to electrify the water, each time causing lots of damage to anybody that was standing in that area.
Hmm. Yeah, I might be interested.
Demo's out now if anybody wants to try it.
That does sound pretty interesting. I don't remember that.
Yeah, really? You asked me when we were talking about why I had downloaded the demo already and not played it.
I remember hearing about that very briefly and mentioning that.
Yeah, the most intriguing part of it for me is the art style looks spot on for Octopath Traveler, and I personally really like that art style. But all that's out is a demo. The game I don't think is due out until next year, probably at the
Hold
earliest.
on. Start saving your money.
Oh yeah. Then we also got the announcement of Ninja Gaiden is back
God.
in a master collection that bundles up the first, second, and third one in the remake series. So Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Sigma 2, and then 3 Razor's Edge with all the DLC that they released.
Ninja Gaiden was pretty cool. I think that a lot of fans who played this growing up, this may be something really neat. Also, for the newer audiences of video games, it's definitely worth the shot because Ninja Gaiden was freaking awesome.
Super hard, but also forgiving to some extent.
He kills you with a
A
scarf.
lot. A lot.
Does that mean you two are going to get this when it comes out?
When Moxie gets it, I'll borrow it from her.
Yeah, it's actually something I'd be interested in.
Okay.
Just saying.
Moxie, you're going to have to make sure you keep your guns handy.
Mm.
So I'm going to add to that. We also got an announcement of a strange little title called World Ends Club, which I don't know how they got away with this because it started off exactly like The World Ends With You and then took a turn that just went wacky. And it even has World End in it. So I really don't know how they're getting away with this. I really don't. Um, Next up, we got the announcement that you can get Super Mario items in Animal Crossing. That actually is available now. The update has already dropped. So, among the things that you can get is a warp pipe that you can place on your island to actually use to warp to another spot on your island. So, Moxie and Zombs, you can both actually go from one end of your island to the other without having to walk the whole way.
I
You
actually
would
might
think
not
would
partake
do
in
that.
that.
Yeah.
Cause honestly, I like walking around my own island. I made it therapy island for a reason.
Well, let's put it this way. You can place a warp pipe in front of your house and then have a warp pipe right in your special little therapy area, and you can just go straight there without having to walk
Which
there.
therapy area? I have like 9 of them on my island. Yeah, I have like 9 places on my island now. Just made a new place. Listeners, go ahead and visit my island if you want. We dropped the code sometime way back in the previous podcast, but I'm still updating that stupid thing.
Now that you've redone it, we'll have to redo that again at some point.
Yeah. I have a library area because I'm a book nerd.
I'm going to put a warp pipe right by the entrance to my island, so that way people can jump in, leave my island, and exit the warp pipe in space.
Don't think you can do that.
Oh,
Worth a try.
yeah. The bottom of the ocean. Can I throw the other pipe into the
Yes.
ocean?
Yes. You can.
The sun?
Oh boy.
Yes.
Well, something that really should have got put in the Sun Zombs is Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville.
Oh my god, they're still making
Complete
those?
edition. Yeah.
Why?
This is, I don't know why, because it's EA. They can't get enough of trying to make money.
It's like the Boss Baby movies. They keep making more of them, and I don't know why.
Because it's good.
Oh, I don't know.
Zoms, though, when we were watching the direct, Zoms called this right out of the gate. And it's like, dang it. And I just cringed the whole time and wanted it to end.
What part? What are you talking about?
Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh, yeah. Right away. Like you're seeing like the trailer and I immediately go Plants vs. Zombies. And uh Broseph goes, good grief.
Yeah.
You
I
want
could
And
Charlie
it
have
was
lived
Brown
true.
on
life
you?
without it. I could have lived life without ever having seen
He
this
looks
game
like
announced.
Charlie Brown.
In a way.
Well, continuing on to the final game announcement, there was the announcement of Saga Frontier Remastered. So, yay for that. It's an RPG. I may look into it further later, possibly. The big thing, though, that I skipped over intentionally was the announcement of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's new DLC fighter, which was Pyra and Mithra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And I am so excited for this.
When we were watching that, Broseph thought it was the other character and
Mm.
he was all excited. And then he goes, oh no, he's gonna be the new character. I figured it out. And it was not that guy. Instead, it was Pyra.
Yeah, which
Yep.
I don't care because I love Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, you don't know this, Zombs, and Moxie, you might. I don't know how far you've gotten in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but Mithra actually had to have a costume change. She actually got into Smash prior in the form of a spirit, but they did a costume change on her to get her under the rating into the E10 and up rating, I think it is on Ultimate. So, and that actually stuck with the character model for her as a playable character. But just the fact that these two characters from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 are in this game now, they're going to be here next month in probably just a few days because there's a Sakurai Presents coming on the 4th, and I'm going to be dropping everything to watch that. This is just I cannot put into words how overjoyed I am that these characters are going to be in Smash. I'm probably going to main them. That's how excited I am.
I've heard that so many times this week.
You know what? I
You and
believe you.
everybody else.
But he's got all the right to be excited.
He does.
Yeah,
And I will defeat him again.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm pretty sure.
Moxie, have you gotten very far on Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
Here's the answer. I haven't gotten much anywhere on any of my games. Unfortunately.
So
You need to
yes,
go back to that one.
Yeah, it's just because of my job lately. I haven't really done much of even Warcraft. Um, you know, I know. Not much of Final Fantasy Online, not much of Animal Crossing, not much of Disgaea, not much of anything. Like, yeah, that's a little bit of my fault. I push myself too hard, I work myself to death, and then I don't take enough time to actually relax. So it's not really anyone's fault but mine. So don't pity me.
I blame Broseph.
I'm not allowed to be
Okay,
blamed.
you can blame him. That's fine.
It's not fair. Was
Totally fair.
anybody else excited for these characters other than me?
Yeah, that's why I didn't spoil it for you.
Yes, and I'm very grateful for that.
Like I knew exactly. Like I know Zombs here was kind of teasing on revealing him. But as soon as I found out, because Tumblr, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be that kind of a good friend. I'm not going to spoil this because I want him to actually get the oh my god, because I was like, oh my god, bro stuff is going to freaking lose his when he sees this.
Oh, if you actually had watched the
Hmm.
trailer, and I recommend that you do because they set it up beautifully.
Yeah.
They
Oh, I actually
in-engine
did check out the
game,
trailer.
yeah.
Again, this Tumblr, they posted it on there.
The best part though, they actually started off with that in the Nintendo Direct, so it literally for me started off on a high note and
Yeah.
didn't exactly end on a high note, but I'll take that start off because that was just amazing.
Was the ending that DC weird superhero thing?
No, the ending was Splatoon 3.
Ah,
So,
yep, yep, that would explain it. My face would have been your face hearing about Splatoon 3.
yeah.
That's everything for the Nintendo Direct, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Uh, the state of play was actually really short, Brosiv. When I had seen it, um, I would say about half of that, little bit of an hour, little over an hour presentation was just waiting for it to start, and
Wow.
I was like, wait a minute. So I came back after the timer went down.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I was going to say, let's go ahead and jump into that because there wasn't a lot that I saw that was announced in it, but that's a good segue. Let's jump into what was announced in the state of play.
There was not a lot announced. Did you see it?
No, I did not. I only caught what was announced in it, and I looked at the list and I was like, oh, there are several things here that were also in the Nintendo Direct, so
Yep.
not worth my time. Save for one
Uh,
thing, which is right here at the top of the list. Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming over to the PS5 as Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, and it includes a bonus episode with Yuffie in it.
yep.
Really?
Yeah, so
Yep.
I'm officially wanting a PS5 now because, as everybody knows, Final Fantasy VII Remake was probably was my favorite game of last year.
Yeah, I still need to play it.
Oh,
I played
you
through
should.
the original Final Fantasy 7. Actually, my um nephew gave it to me as a gift when he was in the military. Not military, Air Force. I'm so sorry. But
Well,
yeah,
isn't the Air Force part of the military?
yes and no. It's kind of they are their own section.
Oh
Um
yeah.
yeah. But he got me Final Fantasy 7 like the original. He looked high and low and found me that game, and I played the heck out of it. I still have it somewhere. It's my most cherished gift from my nephew.
I have the release date for Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate for
Mm,
Isn't
PS5,
it June or July?
June 10th
interesting.
this year, 2021.
Mm,
Yeah, it's coming so soon and I want it so much, but
That's where I had seen the Knockout City. Uh, the more information on that, that's what pushed me, and I said, okay, I may get this now.
yeah, they also showed off evidently Crash Bandicoot on PS5.
Oh yeah, uh,
yeah.
I was seeing that. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot was always a fun games. Uh, Now they have it. You can see the enhancements on PS5. If you have the PS4 version, I think it automatically upgrades for free or something like that. Um,
Probably. I didn't check on that, which I'm ashamed of for being a Crash Bandicoot fan like I am. But
um,
I should check on that.
Also, there was this creepy looking game. I think I'm gonna get it.
What?
It's called Returnal.
Returnal.
I've heard
Mm.
about
Yeah.
that game more than once.
The main character, I got the Ripley vibe,
Oh.
and she crash lands on an alien planet, and then so it's like there's a dashing around, shooting with the different types of guns, and then you get to this part where there's like I'm assuming it's her house
Yeah.
growing up, and then you step inside, and then that's where it had ended, and I'm like, okay, but it was like a creepy vibe that I got from it.
You know what
There was
this
also
reminds me of, real quick? Not to interrupt, but Zombs, Little Nightmares 2. You've been playing it? I finally got my friend Kevin to stream it for me.
oh yeah,
My God. I'm just gonna end this here, but that game is good. You
oh
were
it is.
right.
They're really good.
You were right, and now I want to play it. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh yeah, like little nightmares. Like you'll be playing it, and then you finish up the little puzzle part, and then especially when I was playing it and I was getting ready for bed, I was playing it, and then I finished the puzzle part, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go to bed now, and then I just kept going, or I said, I'm gonna go to bed right after this puzzle part, and
It is
I was
addicting.
curious. Yeah, it was very addicting.
He ran the entire game for me in 3 hours.
Oh wow.
Just straight. Died only once. It's like, my God.
Let me see. Next game was Sifu. Uh, that's I'm assuming it's all just a kung fu game. The art style kind of reminded me of Fortnite, but it looks pretty neat. It starts off with this guy fighting in a hallway against all these gangsters, I guess, and it looked pretty neat. Not a lot was shown about that, just the trailer for it for um, I'm assuming the main character fighting. Um, what else? Oh, Solar Ash looks interesting. Uh, I don't know how to describe this game, but I'm assuming like just the main character goes into a black hole. It's some girl. She's got this mask thing, and it looks like she's gliding all over the place. And I don't know if you have to collect these like blob things. It kind of they remind me of like rings from Sonic, except they're blobs.
Yeah.
And then you do fight these giant monsters. Uh, they look really crazy. It's like there was one that looked like a snake that has like bone armor, and it's flying around in the sky, and you're literally on top of it, like stabbing it. Um, Next one is oh, uh, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Yes! I watched the thing for that.
They keep
Yeah,
showing this thing. I wonder when it's actually going to come out.
yeah,
Knowing that poor Scott's doing a lot of it, who knows? But Scott needs to take a break. Please let this be the last one. I love you, FNAF. Love you, twisted, dark, weird game. Scott, please take a break. You
Are you
deserve
kidding?
it.
Are you kidding? This sets up so much
Oh,
more.
God.
He's never going to stop.
That's what I'm
Never.
afraid of, actually.
Why stop when you're making money?
There's a point where you can run something to the ground to the point that is becomes unenjoyable.
Well,
and
that's why you
then you make
outsource things.
spin-offs.
See,
Yes, and this
like
is where we're in the
books.
situation with some of these movies that have been coming out.
Like books, though. He has books that are coming out for Five Nights at Freddy's, like one a month.
Yeah, and apparently Reddit actually finally cracked the secret behind FNAF, but we'll get into that later, boys and girls and undefined.
Ooh,
As in
I'm excited.
later, as in never.
Yes, pretty much.
uh,
You're catching
What
on.
else? Oddworld, Soulstorm.
yeah. Oh, good grief! Please,
Oddworld,
why?
really?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
I was looking at it, and it's like there's so much. There's puzzle games. Uh, I don't know. I'm gonna get it. It looks pretty neat.
please tell me what it's like. I remember Oddworld. That was, wow, that's a blast from the past. That's a nostalgia right there for me. Am I aging myself? Maybe.
Oddworld has actually been coming back a little lately. There have been
Really?
games. Yeah, it's actually there are some of the games on the Switch too.
Wow, I have been that under a rock?
Yeah.
Boy.
Granted, I don't think there's been many of the good Oddworld games on the Switch. I know that Stranger's Wrath is on there because it got
Oh
a
yeah.
physical release through limited run.
Oh, if it's yeah.
Yeah, it looks Oddworld looks really neat. You save people and you use them to help you get through other areas. I was seeing some of the stuff and I said, okay, you save them only for them to become meat shields for you later to get to the next area. Okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
works.
I mean, isn't that like Pikmin? You just use them as meat shields to get the next area.
Actually, I love Pikmin and I do everything I can to not have any casualties.
Well, you're a good person.
It's kind of like having a bunch of corgis and having them do your bidding, and then you want them all to come back because you
That
feel
is.
really bad when you watch your corgi get devoured by a giant plant monster thing.
Oh my God, Zombs.
You want to know something? He's actually setting up this really great segue.
Yeah, I'm
He
sure
he
he
really is.
is.
He's setting up this really great segue in the fact that we got a trailer for a Mortal Kombat movie. It's actually, I think it was a reboot from the original Mortal Kombat. I don't have a clue how they did it, but if you watch the trailer, they have kept fatalities in this movie. Somehow, some way, by some trickery of movie cinema, they have kept fatalities
Okay,
in
now
all
I'm
the
pleased.
goriness in the
Yes,
movie. I
I'm
don't know
pleased.
how they did this, but it's out in April. Sorry, Zombs, you set this up so nicely for me.
That's how we do things. That's teamwork for our chain combo.
They even this is the stupid part. They say that this trailer is appropriate for all audiences by the Motion Picture Association, and yet they distinctly show fatalities in this.
Of
Granted, it's
course
at
they did.
such the right angle that it looks just fake enough, but you know what is going
This
on if
this
you
is
have
what
any
this is
connection to
what
Mortal Kombat.
2020 has done to us. Fatalities are kid friendly. We're fatalities in Mortal Kombat are now kid friendly. At this point, who knows? We're
Do you guys
2021.
do you guys remember when Grand Theft Auto like started
Like
pushing
why?
people to remove video games off the shelf?
Mm, it actually
Yes.
started before that, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Man, thank you for bringing that back to my memory.
And now it's just like nobody cares.
No, yeah.
I'll be in line at like the store and then the cashier will tell somebody, they say, this game is rated M for mature, 17 and older. Do you want to buy this for your 6-year-old? And the parent is just like, yeah, they have all the other ones. Like, well, that
Okay.
that that doesn't that doesn't make it right. Okay,
No.
now I see why the community is the way that it is.
Going back to this trailer just for a minute, I encourage both of you to watch this at some point just because I didn't actually see all the way through the original Mortal Kombat movie. I think I might have caught bits and pieces of it. But and
It
I'm not saying
wasn't
I
that
like
good.
Mortal Kombat either.
It wasn't
But
that good.
but they actually look like they fixed stuff and they actually did justice to a certain extent to the series with this movie. So, granted, this is just my impressions from the trailer, but yeah,
Is it a movie or is it a series?
it's a movie. It's coming
Um,
out on April, I think it was 16th to HBO Max.
okay.
So,
Uh, moving on.
yeah,
Uh,
moving on.
Death Loops, Deja Vu. Uh, the trailer was pretty interesting. Um, first person shooter. When you play, basically, when you die, you start back at the beginning, but the world is different. So the monsters are in different spots. It's different monsters, and this game is designed to keep you on your toes. Other than that, not a lot was put out for it, but it looked pretty neat. I'm gonna keep an eye out for this. Um, and final thing was this game looked really neat. Kena Bridge of Spirits, And so it's this little girl with a staff, and there's like a crystal on top of it, like something Gandalf would have. And she makes friends with these little blob things. They look super kawaii. I would definitely check it out. It looks cool. I kind of got some Kingdom Hearts vibes from it, as well as Immortals Phoenix Rising, and I love both of those games. So everybody check it out. And that was it for the state of play.
See that I like what they did, but I almost think that there was more meat to the Nintendo Direct, to be honest.
Mm.
Well,
Granted, I'm
I
biased
play
because
all
I
of the
absolutely love Final
consoles.
Fantasy 7. So.
It was
Yeah,
just,
you are pretty biased because you really only stick with Switch.
and then here's me with my PC gaming, and I'm all alone in the corner.
That's not true.
No, I love like World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
You had BlizzCon, so what are you talking about?
Mm.
BlizzCon was the thing with all
So
that Blizzard stuff.
BlizzCon, a lot of stuff dropped. I wasn't actually able to attend it virtually this year. Normally I do. But there's a lot going on with the Chains of Damnation
A
for
lot.
there's a lot, yeah. Um More or less it was a preview of what Shadowlands is going to become coming up. The biggest change is we are going to actually have an active role in shaping what the Chains of Damnation does to Shadowlands, which okay, that's interesting. Um we're used to the expansions being more heavy-handed in how it goes. Sylvanas is a raid boss. I want to kill her so bad. That's gonna be my theme song when I finally do get to fight her.
No, not my waifu.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill your waifu, and I'm gonna take her head and stick it on a pike, and my deader, my Forsaken, is gonna be so happy.
Oh
My
man.
warlock is gonna be like, yes, yes, she is dead. But no, so we have some bad news about what's happened to a certain alliance leader. Um, yeah, Anduin, for all you Anduin fans out there, I'm sorry. He's like Death Knight, but not Death Knight. He's the jailer's pawn. He is corrupted. Don't know if we're gonna be able to save him. But he's got a gnarly looking design, which was really leaked in the BlizzCon to the point where I thought it was Arthas. I thought I was looking at Arthas, honestly. Not used to seeing Anduin with white hair. There's still some things that are, they're trying to figure out. Now, there was rumor. So there's Zombs, I think you know this. I don't know, Bros, if you know this. I'm a
Probably
huge
not.
Diablo fan. Big
I
Diablo fan.
might have known this.
Yeah, big Diablo fan. You didn't know this, Zombs? You did not know
Oh, I
that.
knew this.
Oh, I was gonna say. It's like you of all people should know. Um, yeah, so we got some news about Diablo 2 Resurrected. I'm just gonna say right now that I really hope they do not mess this up. Like the mobile snafu that happened not too long ago. I'm sure you
I
guys remember
remember
that.
hearing about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was so mad. But no, no. Out of all the Warcraft news, Diablo has me so excited. Yes, more excited than about the World of Warcraft Chains of Damnation.
So, out of
Um,
curiosity, is it the fact that it's coming out just in general, or the fact that you can get it on the Switch?
it's the fact that it's coming out in general and you can get it on the Switch. I'm doing a lot of things more on the Switch, if you've noticed, because it's just easier, especially in my busy life, to when I do get time for gaming, go ahead and do it, especially during lunchtime.
That's actually why I brought up BlizzCon, because Diablo 2 got announced for the Switch in general. And
Yeah.
Zombs is pressing the button to switch us all.
Yeah, I was like, Zoms is participating. Yeah, but no, there's a lot of things that happened. Of course, um, the new Hearthstone expansion, Forged in the Barrens. Not gonna lie, I'm not into Hearthstone. I just nah. I lost. Um, I lost all interest. I basically played it for the one mount in Warcraft, and that was it. Hot take on that. There is the arcade collection that's coming back, which I don't know if you guys took a look at this. They're bringing back the Lost Vikings, Rock and Roll Racing, Blackthorn. Um,
Yeah,
they
I
have
saw that
this.
too.
Yeah. This is cool. I mean, it's again the whole nostalgic kind of retro shtick that with the like the mini SNEs and all that coming out. It's what that is, but it's also cool to kind of relive the past. Um, and of course, the cosplays, all that stuff. Although I actually found my attention waning a lot during this BlizzCon because I got snippets. Although I did not get the virtual ticket, I had friends who did allow me to see snippets at times. I don't know if it was just me in the like drained funk ever since like emerging from 2020, which has been a thing, especially with like my hobbies, my interests. It was not that exciting. Like with the news of Warcraft Classic going to the Burning Crusade, I was like, "Oh yay for you guys, cool." Um, where it would have been more of like a ooh cool. I don't play Classic. I know people who do. And the Overwatch news. Did you guys check out the Overwatch 2 news?
Of
Uh, I,
course.
I heard that it's just needing more development time, so it's not
Hmm.
coming out anytime soon.
It's not coming
Yeah.
out anytime soon, and I'm glad they're pushing it back. Please don't pull another CD Project Red on this one. We don't need that in the industry. But
I think after CD Projekt Red with the release of Cyberpunk,
yeah,
after that happening and everybody else seeing, it was kind of like all the kids on the playground watching that one kid get punished, and
yeah,
immediately everybody learned their lesson.
yeah. Like Overwatch 2 had me excited. I was like, oh, cool, and just even an update, even if it's like, hey, we're pushing this back a little bit, I'm like, cool. Diablo 2 had me ecstatic. Chains of Damnation had me truly terrified about, like, in a good way, of the direction of the expansion. But besides that, the entire BlizzCon was, I don't know. Um, I saw most of it and it just was not, no, it was not that interesting this year, which I guess is sad because you know how much I do enjoy the PC gamings in
I
the,
just want to go.
yeah, in the beta nits. Yeah, I am.
Well, I guess I better pick us all back up.
Yeah, please do because talk about Diablo 2 and that'll pick me back up.
Well, I was going to jump on to the next thing on the list from
Okay,
BlizzCon.
do
Uh,
it.
moving back over for a minute to Sony, they actually are reinstating their Play at Home initiative
Oh,
and giving people a free digital copy of Ratchet and Clank on the PS4 starting the 1st of March.
that's a good series.
Yeah. I'm going to
That's
get this
nice.
as soon as it's free. For people that prefer anime, though, if you have a subscription to Funimation, I think it is, they're giving you extended access. Uh, let's see here. They're giving extended access to Funimation for new subscribers.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know what all it includes, but yeah. This
I
is just the
mean,
start of it. They're evidently going to be continuing this play at home initiative for at least probably a couple of months, I guess.
I would hope so because I mean, you guys clearly know my stance on everything that's been going on in the world. Um, I truly think that people still need to kind of stay at home right now. And this is, I mean, I get from a business aspect what it's doing. I get what this is, um, which can be deceptive on one end, but on the other end, it is promoting stay at home, entertainment. They're offering a free game. Yeah, okay, cool. I like
Yeah,
it.
Last year they gave us Journey, which I got. I have not played still. And they
You should.
also gave Uncharted the Nathan Drake collection, which I already had, so it wasn't
Yeah.
that big of a deal for me.
Yeah,
And
no, you
probably the
should.
majority of people already have Ratchet and Clank. So, but it's the idea. They're doing this, and
Yeah,
that's
it is
good.
the idea, and that's what matters. Again, like I said, I know on one hand why they might be doing this, but on another hand, it is still giving some people something to do, especially if they don't have the money to get a new game, and it's something to buy the time while we're still trying to remain healthy.
Yeah.
Wash your
Says,
hands.
oh man, you want that girl from me? No, do not provoke the plague doctor, obsessive person into that. I will.
I'm provoking.
You're provoking. You're poking me with that yardstick.
Well, there was something else that was provoked.
What?
People were being trolled about the title for Spider-Man 3, and they finally dropped it.
Yeah, trolled by who again?
Tom Holland.
Yeah, man. My man, Tom Holland.
But in this funny little trailer, they give the official title, which is No Way Home.
Yeah, I like that. I like the little like fun, harmless trolling that they did.
Now, though, it's time for the big final piece of news, which was that just the other day we got a Pokemon presentation. And boy, that was a mess. I actually watched it live. And before it could get to the actual conclusion, it was only a couple minutes that we lost out on. But before it actually ended, the stream ended, and we lost the last couple of minutes for anybody and everybody that watched it live,
Mhm.
which is crazy. It
I
started
think you
lagging,
mentioned
and
that to
then
me.
yeah. So in the Pokemon presentation, though, we got new information about new Pokemon Snap, which I will probably rag on them for being the worst, most unoriginal title they could possibly come up with for a game that hasn't been
Oh,
around
but it
in
looks so
20
pretty.
years. It does, and I'm going to get it anyways. But they showed off the ranking system. They also showed off that you can get the Pokemon to do different things. And there was this new Illuma ball that you can throw at Pokemon. And one of the examples they showed was a Score Bunny that was kicking flames. You threw the Illuma ball at it, and the flames changed from red to this really light blue, which was really neat. And then the scoring system is a 4-star scoring system, I believe. And you also can crop and edit the pictures and apply stickers, which my first initial thought of is, gee, if they let people post these stickered pictures online, they're going to do so many very bad things.
Mhm.
So many very bad things. But beyond that, there's a rating system that the community evidently can be involved in rating pictures, and it just honestly all looks good. It's one of those games that you don't get often enough, and when it does, you just go, "Oh, hey, look, it's a new Pokemon. Catch it with a Master Ball."
Who's that Pokemon? It's
It's a Zombs.
Arnold. Arnold. Arnold.
No, it's a Zombs.
Oh God,
Some
he's
love
stabbing
you.
me.
But then from new Pokemon Snap, I was honestly expecting them to do more, but they jumped immediately to showing off remakes of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl for the Nintendo Switch in the form of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Now, we were already talking about this before the podcast. I personally am really hyped about the art style and the fact that it looks like it's going back to the original look of the series. Zoms, you're shaking your head like you kind of agree with me, but Moxie, you and me were talking beforehand. I'll let you say what you're thinking.
Okay, I don't like the art style. I know there's a lot of conflicting between you and me, Broseph, on this, but for me, it you figured out the name. I was trying to come up with a name of the little, like, before Legos, the starter up toddler like block sets, the Duplo, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, they look like little Duplo figurines, chunky little figurines walking around. Um, Also low grade I mean, sorry, low grade quality on the overall look of it. Like, I was looking at the wallpaper in the room and it's very flat. And then you get to the encounter moments and it's the big figure, the normal looking figure. You've got some shadow, shading textures a little bit. You've got more detail. And I'm thinking, after having sword and shield, and then we're going to this is like, okay, let me stick my entire face in a bucket of ice water and try to deal with this. It's very much, I got used to the art style of Sword and Shield, and while I can say that Sword and Shield had a lot going on the screen, sometimes too much, it at least had a very detailed environment that it looks like they took a lot of like love and care in making those details pop. With the Pearl, I understand they're staying very true to the original, but there's I mean, I was noticing the lower textures and stuff like that, and going back and forth from small to big is, to me, I'm a stickler. I'd be like, "Stick to one style, please. Please don't keep doing this." I don't know if they're, like, harkening back to the JPEG days where, like, little tiny dot character, and then you've got, like, somewhat, you know, bigger characters, more defined characters in the fighting startup, but it didn't look good to me. I don't like it. I don't like it.
See, and I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, I know you do. That was like we had what, like a 20-minute conversation back and forth. It's the funniest thing.
Something like that. Yeah, it's I can't help it. I really like this art style because I want them to have this for the older games especially, just the older games when they remake
Mhm,
them, to have that older feel because that's the kind of nostalgia that I want. Update it,
mhm.
yes, but give me a little bit more of the nostalgia. Just a little bit.
Yeah,
Zombs, what are you thinking?
It's alright.
it's I.
It's alright.
Shouldn't let a zombie weigh in here, obviously. He doesn't give opinions, he gives confirmation and affirmations.
Mhm,
Um, these games, though, are slated for this year, later on this year. I, if I can, might actually grab both of them, but that's just me. I can see where you're coming from, Moxie, with the
mhm.
shifting and the different art styles and not enjoying that. There was actually another game I've been trying to rack my brain on remembering that I did not like that difference in art styles between the two different phases of it, but I, as of currently, cannot remember what that game was, unfortunately. But there was another game announced during the Pokemon presentation. And actually, before I go into that, it's something important to note that these Diamond and Pearl remakes are not being made in house at the Pokemon Company. They are being outsourced.
Yeah,
Junichi Masuda is still a director on them, but that's it.
I don't know if maybe that's the reason why the art style is so drastically, like, not different. It's not different, but I don't know.
It's
I got some thoughts
interesting.
on it.
We'll see what happens as the year goes on. But going to that next game, yesterday in the afternoon, after the Pokemon presentation had happened, Moxie, you actually messaged me wondering what the heck Pokemon Legends Arceus, what the heck it is.
Oh, yeah, I think I messaged WTF is this? Next message, next message, question mark, question mark, question mark. Last message, IDK, what is this? I think that
And
was literally my message to you.
yes, yes, it was. And what Pokemon Legends Arceus is, is it is pretty much a old time Pokemon game, and I don't mean old time as an old timey. It takes place back in time in the Sinnoh region,
Yeah,
and
you basically
a
got on a DeLorean and took a ride back to the past.
is very much looks like an open world Pokemon game, and it looks like they have taken the wild area from Pokemon Sword and Shield that they developed and have used that as template for this new game.
Yeah.
Your objective in this game is to create the very first Pokedex for the Sinnoh region, and your choice of starters is actually kind of intriguing as
Yeah, why do we have Rowlet there?
evidently a professor, an unknown professor, has come to the Sinnoh region and brought along Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott
He's
as
from
starters.
Digimon.
He's from Digimon. I
No
he,
Zombs. No, he's not.
I was very confused about the starters. In fact, I think that's what my biggest WTF was on because I got the concept you were going back in the past. And then I was like, why isn't a lowland Pokemon there? Why do we have like these Alolan Pokemon in this area?
I just wonder what possessed them to pick those particular three starter
I
Pokemon.
don't now I can understand maybe to a point. You got Oshawott, the final evolution being what it is. Rowlet's final evolution is an archer. It's it's someone who, it's very much a ghostly kind of archer. For the theme for back then, if we think about what it's kind of like what it's representing in our past, there's
No, I don't.
archers,
No, I still don't
samurai
understand.
warriors.
Oh, good grief, no.
Uh, d-
But
Hey,
then you have the giant fire mouse, fire monster mouse. That doesn't add up to anything because that's all
yeah, well,
Cyndaquil's
things were
final
hot and
evolution is.
kicking back then. I mean,
Oh shit.
do you really want to have like actually no, to pig probably would have been better choice, wouldn't it have been?
Well, in any case, the
Yeah,
art
why the
style
heck?
for this game is more agreeable to you probably because it
Yes,
rips straight from Pokemon Sword and Shield.
that is what I'm talking about. That's the kind of what I want to see in a Pokemon game. And yet I'm very mixed on like I think Arceus is going to grow on me, but right now I'm still kind of like, wait, there's no actual like we're taking the entire concept throwing out the window. It's very much like culture shock right now for me of like I've been programmed and groomed this entire time to play Pokemon games like a certain way, and now we're doing it freestyle. It's like Breath of the Wild meets Pokemon. I got
I
to
was
get used to
thinking that
this.
before we started the podcast.
Yeah, it's literally like Breath of the Wild meets Pokemon, which it will grow on me, but I think out of the um things that we have coming out, I'm going to be more likely to play that game or Pokemon Snap than the remakes. And I
Well,
loved
you have
Pearl.
time because this game is not due out till early next year, they said, which could
Yeah,
still change.
it gives me enough time to see what's going on with it.
Yeah. It's such an early look at the game, and you can tell that they were really withholding a lot of information. It it would surprise me if they weren't, because if they weren't, this is going to be a very, very boring game. There had
Yeah.
been a lot that they were withholding.
Yes.
Otherwise, this is just gonna be a single note game, and Pokemon, they do that to an extent, but not this badly.
Yeah, I don't know. I know back to the FNAF conversation I just had where there's a time when you should quit something before you run into the ground, but to add an addendum to that, there's also a time to start trying new things to try to keep something fresh. Um which I mean, I guess arguably Security Breach is doing, but that's not the point right now. For Pokemon, they're trying something new. I'll give that to them. Um, and whether it works or not, we'll see. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm a Pokemon fan, but I will admit when something is lackluster. I mean, Pokemon Shield. I have not officially finished that because I just cannot bring myself to for some reason. There's
Zoms, do you have any thoughts?
I'm gonna borrow the Pokemon games from Brosive, and I'm gonna play them, and then we'll take it from there.
I'm noticing a trend here. Who's the guy who works at a game store?
You're just now noticing the trend? I stated that back at the beginning of the podcast.
I mean, I'm just saying it's way too funny.
Yeah. Well, any final thoughts on the Pokemon presentation, Moxie?
I really feel they could have done something better with Pearl. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people disagreeing with me. And hey, if you do, 100% on board with that because everyone's viewpoint is valid. If you want to leave a comment on why I'm wrong or not wrong, definitely feel free to do that or drop us a line in the email. And hey, Broseph, what's that email?
Nerdbreakpodcast at gmail.com.
I wish you could see the dead stare he's giving me because I didn't tell him I was going to do that. Anyway, yeah, final thoughts could have done something better with Pearl and Diamond. Something along the lines of making them less duplex, Duplo, making them look a little bit better. Arceus, I'm keeping an eye out for it. Pokemon Snap, oh yeah, I'm on board with that. But I was obsessed with Pokemon Snap growing up, so you know.
All right. Well, Zombs, it's time for you to take it away, buddy.
Where
Time
are
for
we
the news
going?
for the animes.
Oh, anime news. Here we go. Uh,
You got 5
there's
minutes, Zombs.
that is sad. We should have a whole
Yeah.
segment one day, just the whole thing is anime.
We did. It was called last month. It was the month of Zombs.
No.
Anime.
A whole thing of anime.
So we're having month of Zoms times 2.
No, we'll have an anime month, 1 month.
The whole segment is anime.
Okay, we'll have one podcast that's entirely anime.
Exactly.
Or, even better, we'll start off with anime news and then go into the video game news.
Oh, well, that's a
We'll
yeah.
switch it up.
Anyway, since today marks the 25th anniversary release of the first Pokemon games, and apparently, for the Crunchyroll staff coming into the office, whatever, that's all they did was talk about their love for Pokemon. It makes me want to work for Crunchyroll.
I can see it now.
You know, try applying. Who knows?
I wonder what I'll do. I'll just be the CEO.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
see it.
Let me see. Actually, I had heard about this and I was really excited. This was announced as news. I think it was a little bit farther, but 6 hours ago, apparently, this anime Zombieland saga is getting another season that's going to broadcast on, or 6 hours ago. Okay, here we go. Yeah, 6 hours ago, it was announced the release date for Zombieland Saga Revenge lights up the stage on April 8th. So I am excited. That basically, this girl, she is ready for school. She's in high school and she's running late. She's all excited, but she's running late. She goes running out. The
Piece of toast in her mouth.
moment she steps into the street, she gets hit by a car or a
Oh,
truck, and she dies. And then she wakes up in a house, and there are zombies all around her. She's freaking out. Turns out she is also a zombie. And this guy, normal looking guy, he's got a lot of energy, tells her that she's going to be an idol. So, and those are her friends who will also be idols. Apparently, each girl in the idol group is from a different uh, time in Japan. And yeah, they all work together and become actually a really good idol group. They're great, really good anime. I love this anime, and I recommend it. It's got a lot of funny moments too.
I'd have to check that out. It's like the beginning of my life as a slime. You don't expect that.
True, I love when animes do that. Uh, Moxie, you had mentioned this,
Hmm.
the My Hero.
Yes.
Well, they've got the season 5 trailers with explosive opening themes, and
Yes.
My Hero Academia returns on March 27th.
I'm counting the days because none of my friends have been keeping, well, none of my friends out here have been keeping up with the manga. I'm the only one who knows what happens in that season, and I want to see their pain. I want to see the pain on their face. I want to relish in that.
Um, Here is so there's this group I've kind of followed for a long time, Jam Project.
Yeah.
I love that group. And they get, I don't know, Joseph, maybe if you've heard of them, but they get themes like from old video games, and they get it and they add lyrics to it. Most likely doesn't have to do with the video games where they got the theme from, but they use the theme and it's pretty good. One of my favorite is Akusen Man, and it's really neat. I'll have to link you the video. It's hilarious. I love when they're screaming and stuff, singing. It's great.
Yes, please
Um,
do, because I love video game music. So,
yeah, you would recognize. I'm pretty sure you would recognize all the music.
oh,
Um,
probably. I'm a
but
video game music connoisseur.
yeah, Masami Akui, a 52-year-old member of the group, will release her much-awaited 19th solo album on March 13th. Full music video for the album's lead track, Tenshi to Akuma, which is Angels and Demons, is now streaming on YouTube. So as soon as we're done here, I'm going over there. What else? Apparently there's going to be a Terminator animated series for Netflix. So Terminator fans, new and old,
I'm
I'll
big
see
on
you
it.
on Netflix.
Only have one question.
Yeah,
Is Arnold Schwarzenegger involved?
God, I hope so.
If not, then forget it. I'm not even gonna try.
Um, the production team from the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, I guess, is responsible for this. And I'm kind of getting the vibes from, Broseph, I think you said you'd seen this. Did you see the Wolverine anime?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm getting the vibes from. So I think I loved that anime, as short as it was. It was great, and I'm really looking forward to this.
hmm, intriguing.
Also, Monster Hunter Rise. A lot of anime fans enjoy the Monster Hunters, and it's coming early to PC in 2022.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
But that's still a exclusivity of a year to the Switch.
and one of my favorite animes, more specifically, one of my favorite characters, the Rem. Well, the voice of Rem from ReZero plays a cow behind in a new farm equipment commercial. In new farm equipment commercials.
I'm confused. Is this another waifu for you, Zombs?
Rem has always been a waifu of mine.
Yes, but is the cow behind a waifu now for you too?
No, I will watch the commercial though.
Okay,
I mean, that's something.
if you say so.
Yeah. And uh, let me go over some character birthdays.
Oh dear.
I
Here we
think it's
go.
just really great. I love birthday parties.
And
We
each
should have a
time you do
birthday
not
party.
give us cake.
I eat the cake.
Supposed to share, Zombs. Weren't you ever taught this?
Yes, I have plates for you guys, but you never show up.
Well, you need to at least give me 2 weeks advance so I can take off and get an airplane ticket to go over.
In 2 weeks from now, I will have
Okay.
cake
Okay. I'll be there.
with some people. Solid Silva, February 26th. Not not a favorite character of mine. In fact, I kind of don't care when he shows up, but I uh I gotta let everybody know it's his birthday.
At least you're honest.
Yeah. Also, this one was announced on social media for February 26th was Raizo from One Piece. He's a ninja. And when they first introduced him, it was hilarious because they had a lot of Easter eggs for Naruto. It was also pretty hilarious. Oh, we did talk about um, reincarnated as a slime. Tomorrow it's Shuna's birthday.
Really?
She's a pink-haired um, horned lady who everybody must protect. Maybe a waifu.
I'm pretty sure.
Definitely a waifu.
And that's all I have for anime news.
Okay. Well, then I think, Zombs and Moxie, it is time for our.
Big topic!
Yes, that's right, Zombs. It is time for our big topic. Every week we have one, and you, dear listener, can suggest our big topic for a future podcast. Just drop us an email at nerdbreakpodcast@gmail.com. Now, those of you who have been following along with the podcast over the past month know that we have been celebrating the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. And this week, thanks to the Pokemon Presentation, we are going to discuss our thoughts on the future of the series.
Which is a very interesting topic, because I'm kind of curious on what you guys are gonna think.
With the announcement of the remakes of Diamond and Pearl and the announcement of Pokemon Legends Arceus, from my perspective, the Pokemon series is headed in two different directions. One following the classic route, and the other following the new innovative open world type of
Mhm.
like Sword and Shield.
How about an MMO for Pokemon?
I honestly would like to see an MMO, just because I'm an MMO freak. So
You know, with as open as Pokemon Legends Arceus looks, that actually could be a possibility. And there were elements like that in the wild area of Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Can you steal somebody else's prey?
What?
Can you steal like if it was an MMO and you see somebody defeating a Pokemon and then you sneak up and you throw a Pokeball right when they're about to and you steal it from them? Can you do that?
You know,
maybe.
that not in the wild area, but that would be intriguing as a Pokemon MMO. Can you do that in Pokemon Go?
So Pokemon Go is very basic. When I say basic, it's not a bad thing, and this is actually why I've been able to. I'm playing that the most out of all my games because I'm able to do that for like 3 to 5 minutes a day. Pokemon Go, there's nothing like stealing or anything. You can actually steal back Shadow Pokemon from Team Rocket and from like the Team Rocket leaders and Giovanni himself. I got a really nice Shadow Mewtwo that I purified. But um it really depends. Like if you ask questions about Pokemon Go, I'll be able to answer them. But it's Pokemon Go is on its own level.
You
It's
know something though.
completely different.
I did not know that was in there, those shadow Pokemon, but that is not where those originate at.
Yeah,
Shadow
no, exactly.
Pokemon originated in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness on the
Yeah, I
GameCube.
played that game. Oh, I remember that game.
This actually goes to a point that I really want to make in that the Pokemon games themselves reiterate off of very specific ideas that they implement in each new game.
Yeah.
So it's
Um,
not always something brand new that we see. It's always
yeah,
an
no.
iteration off of something that we've seen previously. They just expand upon it.
That's exactly it. Um, in like the Shadow Pokemon, that's exactly where it comes from. They took that. They just released the I'm blanking the little power stones to make the Pokemon a different alternate form. I know that term. What
The
is it?
Mega Stones,
Thank you, Mega Evolution. They just added that to Pokemon Go not too long ago. Um, So they're doing things where they're actually taking it from they're taking things from all the past Pokemon. Shadow Pokemon was like the first thing that they had. But their Pokemon Go is Pokemon Go isn't even a Pokemon game, but it is, if that makes sense. It's completely different.
Yeah, I've played Pokemon Go just a little, and I
You should
honestly,
totally add me.
He doesn't play though.
yeah, I don't because I just couldn't get into it.
You should totally
The
add me.
closest I could get to that was playing Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, and
Yeah.
that game I had to play that in handheld mode.
Hmm.
And actually, this is something that was rumored beforehand that the catching mechanic of Pokemon Go, Pokemon Let's Go games would be in the Diamond and Pearl remakes, and that doesn't seem to be the case. But they distinctly did not show whether that would be the case for Pokemon Legends Arceus. Which now I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if that's going to be in that game.
I mean, you
That'll
don't know.
kill me if it's in there.
Yeah.
That'll kill me because I
It
don't
will
want that.
surprise me, but also not surprise me at the same time, just because I've seen how the last couple of Pokemon games have gone. And they're doing things where, like, they shouldn't technically have maybe a certain type of aspect in it, but hey, they do suddenly. I think it
Yeah.
was like, what was the one that got me? It was a remake that I played that they had actually like Mega Evolution in it. And it was an older game and I was like, what?
Well, that
Which one was
started
it?
in Pokemon X and Y,
Yeah,
and
the
then was in Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and Sun and Moon.
Omega Ruby, I think. It had some concept in it that made me go, "What?" Like it should not be there.
Are you thinking of maybe the technically mega evolutions of Groudon and Kyogre? That made zero sense.
Yes. Thank you. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute since I played Ruby because Ruby Team Magma. I gotta love Team Magma. Um, but it's been a hot minute, and that point, I was like, what am I dealing with? I don't get it. This shouldn't be a thing, but okay, go off, I guess.
You know, I'm thinking, what were some of the unique things for Sun or Sword and Shield? Because we had the wild area was one of the really big things. And like we mentioned previously, each generation kind of adds something, but it's always iterative off of the others. You brought up Mega Evolution. That started in X and Y and just kind of run its course through each generation.
Yeah.
That actually wasn't in Sword and Shield, was it?
No, I don't think it was.
So I wonder if Mega Evolution is going to come back in the remakes for Diamond and Pearl, or if it's going to be in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, Pokemon Legends Arceus taking place in a previous time period actually wouldn't make any sense because this was a newer innovation for the series. So I wonder if Mega Evolutions is dead, but more importantly, going back to what I was originally thinking, what are some of the other things that they would iterate off of that were in Sword and Shield that were new things?
Yeah.
You know, and I almost think that Zombs' first point of a Pokemon MMO actually might be closer to what we could see in the future
Which
of
I
the
wouldn't
Pokemon
mind that.
series.
Doms, I hope
That
you're
would
onto
be neat.
something.
Yeah. Also, so that was my first point. My second point was I had asked Joseph, I said, if they stopped with everything pre-Switch, Nintendo, um, and everything's coming to the Switch now, what um what's gonna happen with the Pokebank?
Pokebank. Yeah, actually, good question.
So, I mean, I would love to, there are the Pokemon that you fall in love with, whatever, you keep them in the Pokebank. And since you're bringing, the remakes or remasters, whatever, of these old games, um, can you still use them, the Pokebanks?
See, Diamond and Pearl do bring an interesting conundrum to the mix because in those games you could catch all of the Pokemon from the previous generations. So that was only Gen 4. So you could catch 4 generations worth of Pokemon technically in one
Yeah.
game series there.
I completed the Pokedex on that game and on Moon just to like
Mm.
show you that yeah, it's definitely with that other one it's possible.
It would
Yeah.
almost make sense because another contention of the series has been that at some point in time, the Pokemon Company had announced that they had all these high resolution models of these Pokemon. And people have wondered, especially with Sword and Shield when it came out, that they cut out Pokemon from the availability pool, that you just could not flat out import into the games. People wondered, well, why if they had all these high resolution models? And part of my thought is perhaps it's because they might have the models, but they don't have the animations that they wanted. So it might be that we see, especially with Legends, that they might bring even more Pokemon into this to the full 3D era, and it might take that extra development time because they did add in Pokemon into Sword and Shield through the expansion pass.
Yeah.
So that Pokemon Home, Pokemon Bank thing might still continue on. You might slowly be able to eventually get all the Pokemon from all the different generations into Sword and Shield and so on and so forth. But it might take Pokemon Legends in order to do it,
Yeah. That'll be interesting to see.
which
Um,
actually might be a reason why Rowlet's in there to prove that point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have my final thought on this week's big topic. I had mentioned it to Brosive,
Mhm.
and he shot it down.
As
As
I'm
he
prone to do.
does.
Yeah.
I said, you can have the option. I think that if they're going to be bringing back these old games, for me, whenever I played each Pokemon game, I always imagined myself as the Pokemon trainer, and so I always kept the same name or whatever. I think that what they should do is you should be able to be very detailed in the appearance of your character
Mhm.
for the people who may want to do what I would want to do and make it very like myself. And whenever you have to sign into the Switch, it asks you, you play the game, who's playing, and well, it's my account. And I click on it. With each game, I think they should allow you to keep the same character model that you've used before in previous games to give it
Yeah.
the illusion that you are going through all these different regions collecting the different Pokemon and stuff.
You know what? That sounds cool.
You know, the big dream of the Pokemon games is being able to actually travel from one region to another, and they really haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Ash does it.
Yeah, but that's the anime.
Well, I'm talking about real life.
Yeah,
I want to go to the different regions.
I personally want that to happen. I just don't see it. However,
Well, because you're negative Nancy.
no. You know, to a different extent, though, you had also mentioned more customization to the character models. And Sword and Shield gives you more options. And just seeing Legends, I'm wondering if they actually stripped that away in that game.
I hope not.
I hope not either. They didn't show anything, and again, it's still early, but that would be something that actually would need to. That would be a good thing to have moving forward into that game, especially since that is definitely developed in house at the Pokemon Company.
Yep.
For a for a final thought for me, the fact that they have the Diamond and Pearl remakes being developed outside of the Pokemon Company makes me think that we're going to get remakes at a slightly faster clip now. It would I would almost bet that it won't take another more than 2 years in order to get another remake. I'm betting that it'll be not next year, but the year after that we'll get another remake in the black and white remakes, and probably in the same art style of Diamond and Pearl remakes.
Mhm.
I almost guarantee it. I have this strange feeling that the Pokemon Company is going to start outsourcing these remakes. They'll leave Junichi Masuda directing or at least overseeing them in some capacity, or someone there at the Pokemon Company overseeing them. but I'm betting that those remakes are going to stay outsourced.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to come at a faster clip. Because back when the Switch started, Pokemon Company thought it was going to fail and didn't really want to put anything on the system. That's why it took so long for Pokemon Let's Go to come out. It took 2 years into the life cycle in order for that to come out. And then we got Sword and Shield. That took 3 years for Sword and Shield to hit, which is unprecedented for a Pokemon game for a Nintendo console. Now we're getting a deluge. So I'm betting that those remakes are going to stay outsourced. Moxie, do you have any final thoughts? And
I think they are going to go on two paths, but I think the one path going back and doing the remakes, it's more or less the nostalgia thing, because as I mentioned before, nostalgia is a big kind of moneymaker right now. But also to give maybe more of a chance for people to transfer Pokemon between the newer games was what I hope, but I know it's also possibly for the nostalgia kick. I do think they're gonna go on an experimental path. I don't know if it's MMORPGs. I don't know if it's gonna stay along the Arceus path, but I think they're gonna start doing some weird stuff. Like, I think Arceus is gonna be tame with what they come out with next.
you know, there is one other thing that while you were saying that, I just thought of this. Deviating slightly here, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild actually was developed by Nintendo, but they had help from other companies, such as the team that worked on Xenoblade Chronicles. Monolith Soft actually helped in the development of the open world of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And there have been multiple different games that different teams have helped contribute on. Animal
Yeah.
Crossing, for example, was developed with multiple different teams inputting on that game. So it makes me wonder if the Pokemon Company is actually reaching out to the development partners at Nintendo for Pokemon Legends Arceus. And if that's the case, if we won't get, like you had mentioned previously, Pokemon Legends Arceus may be more Breath of the Wild than Pokemon.
Mhm. That's kinda what I'm thinking.
Because that if they were going that route, that actually would explain why they showed off very little of the game. Because the
Yep.
art style alone looked like Sword and Shield, but there was something else there that reminded me of Breath of the Wild too.
Yeah, no, it's totally Breath of the Wild. That's what I saw when I saw it. A lot of games are going the Breath of the Wild route because it did good. And hey, if something does good and it's not overused yet, yeah, go ahead and use it. There's nothing wrong against that. Um,
It's what Hollywood does.
yeah. Yep. It's
But
what
you're
Hollywood does
right.
all the
Yeah,
time.
I've seen a lot of things that look like Breath of the Wild.
And actually, that would be really an amazing and cool concept if they were to allow you to scale those mountains, climb trees, and oh, there we go, drowned. You can drown in a Pokemon game. That would be
Yes.
so not
Lightning
kid friendly.
strike. I want it all. Electrocuted by a Pikachu. Give me that death. That sweet release.
It'll be interesting what form Pokemon Legends Arceus takes, but if now what I'm thinking and what we're probably all agreeing on might be the case, if it takes cues from Breath of the Wild, we could be in for a really wild and amazing game. But I think that does it for this week's podcast and this week's big topic. Before we close, dear listeners, we have been doing a Pokemon Nuzlocke that has been playing over this video, at least part of it. If you would like to participate in the Nuzlocke, you are free to suggest nicknames for the Pokemon that we catch. Just drop a comment in the comment section of this podcast video here on YouTube, or send us an email to nerdbreakpodcast@gmail.com. There's still a long ways to go, and boy, it's going to take some time.
You should see what I wanted to name my Metapod.
No, you should not. That's
Yes, you should have.
inappropriate at the least. You know, though, to update both of you real quick, caught a Tyrouge,
Yeah.
named it Chan Lee.
You know what? Valid. That's valid.
Thank you, everyone, so much, though, for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please don't forget to give it a like here on YouTube. Subscribe if you're not already. And as mentioned multiple times, drop us an email at nerdbreakpodcast@gmail.com. Suggest anything, ask us anything. Ask us how Zombs stays held together with the tape, the binding, the glue. Ask Moxie what she likes in her coffee.
Yeah, you actually
Or vice
might be
versa.
surprised. You might be surprised or grossed out, depending.
But on behalf of myself, Zombs,
So you're gonna work on your intros now, right? I expect perfection every time.
I'll write it down, Zombs, and Moxie.
I mean, at least he's trying. Okay, we gotta give him that. Let's give him that. Round of applause.
Yes, it's a little hard with you ENFPs around here.
Isn't it now? That sounds like a you problem.
Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Keep washing your hands!